So first off, hey, Movie Poo. I've seen several of your videos, very interesting. Like them a lot. Started off with the astronomy, excellent. And anywho, also the whole religion thing, blah blah blah. So the point, responding to the question, what will humanity be like in say 5,000 years, or some distant future time? Well, the short answer is, of course, hell if I know, but it sounds like a wild chance to speculate wildly. Which, all right, I'll do that. So, what will it be like in 5,000 years? I mean, I think really, if you look at our biological nature, I'm really not convinced that there's a huge amount of evolution between, say, 5,000 years ago and today, between the humans that existed. That there's still pretty much the brains in the people 2,000 years ago and the brains in our head today, pretty much the same brain. Project that another 5,000 years ahead, I think on our own we would not be evolving much. Of course, I think what you're getting at is, well, we're not necessarily evolving on our own. We are in an era of human-driven evolution. Of course, this is one of these things where I kind of always take the point of, well, we're humans, we're part of nature too, so how is it that if we do something that's unnatural and wrong and we're trying to play God, and or it's like, well, we're just part of nature too, and we're just doing things that you can naturally do. If if squirrels could do it, if squirrels had cell phone technology, they'd be using it. So the real interesting question becomes, well, where will humanity drive evolution? And I'm not as convinced. I know there's a few things that you mentioned that in your video that seem to be more oriented towards things like, well, are we going to destroy our environment, or are we going to, say, through eating more processed foods or ingesting a different chemical diet, are we going to evolve in some way that could affect us negatively because of these things? Whereas I think really that on that time scale, those issues are, those will be over and done with. So I think really you're going to look at, well, say, what would be different in this upcoming future that would not be like that same time period in the past. And I think the shortest, simplest answer there is technology. Okay, we've just got a lot better stuff around now. They can do a lot more things. We have great tools, and they will only continue to get better. And I would say probably in the not too distant future, we're going to have more and more of a combination between mechanized technology and human beings. So that we're going to, it's like all that crap you see in the Matrix. You can plug in, get sensory experiences, sent directly to your brain, or put in some like a little math coprocessor chip, in your head, so that you can think, well, geez, what is the square root of 1.38974 times 10 to the 8th? And just be able to come up with that off the top of your head, which how do I know? I just made it up. But so you have things like that, but then you also have technology interacting in ways to basically keep us alive longer, live healthier lives, be able to think more clearly, be able to say, or just whatever, just improve our biological functions. Essentially we'll become Cybermen and rule with an iron hand. No, but I think there will be this merging of technology and humans. Exactly how that's going to be, I don't envision us like all walking around in some sort of like Terminator 2, brain inside of a, giant mech suit dude. I'd envision something much more along the lines of, you might just be inoculated with, nano machines, and they just go around pre-programmed to repair standard, cell malfunctions or or things like that, where you can actually just have like little mechanized systems floating around your body, looking for any errors in copying DNA sequences or something when inside of particular cells, things that would promote cell death or something. Where you're like, well, we're going to look through that and try to cancel out some of those negative effects. Or even being able to actually directly alter your genetics with, say, gene therapy. I mean, clearly these are things that we will be able to do. Damn it, it's really hard to make these videos where you're just like, I'll just ramble off a long response and then be like, oh, hold on, I should have taken notes a little more effectively to have it more summarized. Blah, blah, blah. What are you going to do? Edit later. So what's the whole point of this? In some long future, it's going to be some sort of commingling of humans and technology. To what level, I'm not exactly sure. If you're going to say in 5,000 years, like 5,000 years, who even knows, man? Who even knows? One of the things that really makes me say that is that it's very difficult to predict future technologies. Right? Largely because of just when we think about future technologies, we tend to think about advances based on current technology instead of advances on future technology, right? Because we figure, oh, well, however fast we're figuring out things now, it'll kind of just keep going at that rate, and I'll predict a way into the future instead of what actually happens. This technology will improve. You can just do things that you wouldn't have imagined you could have done just 10 years earlier or 20 years earlier. So very difficult to predict. We could be well off of the planet by then, where we'd have like large colonies in space somewhere, whether that be trying to colonize the moon or Mars, or actually just sending off figuring out some like cool way to build giant spaceships and be like, nah, we can build them and hang out and have like big floating cities, if you will, in space. I think I'm not all that convinced that we'll actually be able to find and go inhabit other Earth-type planets. I mean, that's just, the distances are large. But once again, it's hard to see with the technology, because I'm like, how are you even going to get up to even a fraction of the speed of light with, with anything that has mass? Really, it's going to be a pain in the butt. And so another interesting thing is, what happens when, say, what if we do conquer death? Like, bum, bum, bum. If once you're reaching that point where you can actually identify, oh, here's what's causing errors in cell replication, and oh, here's what contributes to the aging process, and oh, well, we can just actually stop that. Interesting, how would religion handle that? I mean, I could almost see them refusing treatment, if you will. It's like one of those things where, what would you choose for your best interest or not? And I don't know. That would be an interesting one. Or would there be, of course, some big religious uprising to kill all the scientists or anybody who thought it'd be a good idea to stop the aging process? Because that'd clearly be, you're trying to play God, and how dare you? You're clearly, Satan, who also tried to play God, and was created by God and really can only do what God knows he's going to do, which includes screw us over and... Never mind. Yeah, it's just a mess. Have I given you an answer?